welcome everyone. Welcome back to the 360 room. Today we're going to break down artificial intelligence in NetSuite. We're going to talk about the actual features, the interesting stuff, and what actually matters to your business. I'm Isidro Spencer. I'm a solutions architect leader at Bring IT, and I'm currently working also in the artificial intelligence realm, not only for our company, but also for our customers. And with me, we have
Hey guys, I am Carolina Arenas and I am a solutions design consultant here at Bring IT.
excellent. Thank you, Caro, for joining us. So basically, this is going to be no fluff, just real conversation about technology and actually where do we think that is going?
Yeah, but before we dive into that, Isidro, you need to tell us about your experience with the United Nations because I don't think a lot of people know about
Oh,
that.
come
And it's
on.
cool. We have a really cool person here.
All right. Yeah, it was a great experience. Thank you. Last year, I had the privilege to participate as a speaker on the Science Summit for the General Assembly of the United Nations. I was actually at Sweet World and I had to step away so that I could be speaking. And it was great. It was very interesting. I got to meet like persons that were very into AI. And the topic that I was talking about was artificial intelligence impact on humanity. And I think that it is great. It was great because it was not just modeling a set of rules or politics for artificial intelligence, but also what can we do next? And basically, this goes with this conversation because everyone, like all of us, need to understand what's the artificial intelligence landscape, you know?
Yeah. Actually, when NetSuite says AI, what are they actually talking about? Like, I guess what type of artificial intelligence exists within the platform?
Good question. And I don't know if you remember back in October at Sweet World, we were presented with NetSuite Next. It was AI all over the place. And so just before going into the actual breakdown of that specific platform, how it's going to work, I would like to say that there are different categories for artificial intelligence. There is machine learning, predictive analytics, language processing, natural language processing, and Gen AI. So there are features that fall into each of those categories. And when NetSuite is talking about artificial intelligence, it's not talking just about something like ChatGPT, you know? It's more about something unique within the platform. And we're going to deep dive on this a little bit further. But it's basically all of this combined to give us better results. Um, and speaking of that, because I remember when we were at Sweet World, everyone was like, wow, what is coming? We saw like demos and it was great. And if you remember part of that, what was like one feature related to AI in NetSuite that kind of surprised you? That you were like, it had the wow effect on you when you learn about it?
Mm, well, I think I haven't like worked really close with AI yet. I did some certifications recently from the ones that NetSuite just released, and one of the things that I really liked about AI, I think it's the financial part and how you can basically teach your own system, how to deliberate, I guess, if the amount is way too high, if your invoices are way too low, and for you to be more efficient when reviewing your financials reconciliations at the end of month. So I think, or even as day-to-day activities go. So I think that's one of the ones that really impressed me. And yeah, well, I guess with all the introduction of NetSuite Next, it's AI is not just a tool right now. It's just like a set of different, so many capabilities all integrated into one single platform. And I think where we are right now in the world is, I think this could be a monster, but in a good way, you know?
Exactly, exactly. That's what excites me as well. Because when we were learning about all of those capabilities, like for example, you can generate your own reports, you will be able to do complex save searches, or it'll have graphs for you on the same platform, like all of that. It was like, wow, this is what AI means to be when we talk about different platforms, and specifically ERPs that has been like, I don't know. I'm not gonna say my age, but I've been working for more than 20 something years in
Long time.
IT. Yes, a long time. From long time, ERP systems need an overhaul, and I guess that I really think that AI is gonna do that for specifically for NetSuite customers.
Sure. Yeah, I think, you know what? Sometimes it's even hard for me to understand what is the actual difference, or, what could be the actual difference from AI within, with a different, with a traditional automation as we know it right now. What could be the potential, you know,
Like the
important thing,
benefits.
the difference? Yes.
Yeah, and that's a very good question. The reason is because, for example, we are used to traditional automation. I mean, you and I both have been working with different companies, food and beverage, highly regulated companies, for example. They are highly automated companies as well, you know? And
Yeah.
the way that they differ from one to another is that with traditional automation, you have like specific rules. Like you have explicit if, then, else sort of kind of rules. With AI, that goes away. AI is more like, let me understand what do you want. Let me review the context you are operating into. And once I have that information, I'm going to give you some advice. I'm going to give a suggestion. I'm going to take an action, for example, which is different than traditional automation, because traditional automation will go from A to Z, right? Point by point. And AI is more like, well, let me see if cutting short C, D, E, and F is better for you. So I guess that's where it's very, very different. And coming to that, because I think that people sometimes doesn't quite understand the basics of AI. You need context for specifically for systems like ERP systems. You need a context, and I don't know if you know about this, but I was looking at a wrap up from Oracle NetSuite, kind of like Instagram post, and it was talking about just 2025. There were like more than 200 billions of sales transactions, all NetSuite customers, like 200 billion.
That's
That's
insane.
insane amount of data. And just for sales, I mean, imagine purchase orders, journals, I don't know, work orders.
Transactions. Yeah, all of those.
Exactly. You name it, all of those transactions. So imagine the power and the capabilities that are going to be able to be done when you have a specific LLM, and not just ChatGPT, not just Cloud or any other LLM, and the specific LLM that has all of that context and then gives you advices, or it gives you like it lets you do decision making so much easier than what we do as humans as of now.
Yeah,
We're
I
not
think
so
that,
good about it.
yeah, that decision making part, I think it's one of the key points with AI and the capabilities it has within it. And like having all this amount of data within the platform too, it's going to be so easy. Well, maybe not so easy, but it's going to be so much better to train all this data with the amount of data we have to get very predictive, like very good predictive outcomes, I think. With that, I think we should talk about a little bit about what's, predictive analytics in NetSuite, like,
Ooh.
demand forecasting, how the cash flows predictions are going to work, all of that kind of thing. I think that's really helpful for like CFOs kind of levels, executive levels,
Hmm.
you and I have worked a lot, very closely with, how this
It
actually works.
it's interesting because sometimes people think that data, you can have whatever data and AI is gonna do everything you need for. No. So this is a true statement. We need good quality data. It's like nowadays, right? If you want good processes and if you want the system to replicate that, you need good data as well. If you don't have good data, you're not going to have a good process. System is not going to work for you at all, right? So the same
Yeah.
thing happens with AI. First of all, we need good data, but also it is very interesting how NetSuite is has been working on embedding forecasting engines, not just running whatever they want, not just two or three algorithms, but actually embedding forecasting engines. Think of those like a continuously recalculating model, something that is not just a one-time forecast, but it will be recalculating. It will be providing you information.
Hmm.
However, it's fair to say that this will not magically happen. I mean, NetSuite will not magically infer the intent. It will actually learn from what happened in the past, what's happening as of now. And that's what basically makes the AI power forecasting models very different from statistical forecasting, because statistical is just based on what happened before, creates a statistic, and there you go. Not with these embedded forecasting engines. And when it comes to, for example, cash flow prediction, is less about predicting the future and more about recognizing how your business is actually behaving financially. Like what happened in the past, what's happening as of now. And based on that, I'm going to give you a hint on how the cash flow will behave because that's how your company is behaving as of now. Kind of get it somehow? Or
Okay. Yeah, I
too
think
technical?
yeah, I think I'm getting a pretty good idea on how is it gonna work. But like what type of algorithms are the ones that are gonna be analyzed, I guess, to get those forecasted.
I'll say, for example, pattern recognition. That's one of those. Time series behavior, variance and deviation. Like, for example, where you can actually combine trends, seasonality, volatility, and then you combine that with how demand changes over time and what normal actually looks like for your account, not for everybody, not for the whole world, but for your account. And after that, a rolling recalibration algorithm will actually do all of these embedded forecasting engines to work as towards what we want from an AI concept and also platform driven, right, by artificial intelligence. So I'll say that it'll be like sophisticated math applied continuously that we don't need to know that math, right? That's for
Yeah.
geeks and techies. I'm not one of those. Uh, and it's not going to be a black box making like gut decisions just because NetSuite is going to have all of this context. It's not going to do like automatic decisions. It's not going to say, I'm going to take this decision just because I want to, right?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, that wouldn't make any sense.
Exactly. Exactly. And talking about this, like, for example, if I tell you like, hey, Carl, what would you think about what's the biggest difference between a rule-based system and learning systems? Those are different. What would you think about that?
Well, I think the role based ones would be the ones that, you would tell them exactly what you want them to do. And
Okay.
even if you shouldn't be telling them that anymore, they're going to be doing it just because it's a rule and that's what has to happen. Where in the learning system, I don't think it's like a set in stone, follow the rules. It's more like a follow patterns and trends on what had happened in the past and apply them to the future or to the present or what's going on. I think that could be kind of how I understand it.
Yeah, true. That's a true statement. That's exactly. And in NetSuite, for example, artificial intelligence will tell you what looks kind of off. And then rules will decide what happens next. So, for example, let's say that right now, the current version of NetSuite, you have rules for approvals and you have invoices and you want to set a rule for if an invoice is over $50,000, you need a specific approval workflow. Perfect. Now with AI, instead of just going automatically into that workflow, AI will learn on your account. It will flag invoices that are kind of unusual for a specific vendor. And even if those are under 50,000, AI could flag it and say, hey, this kind of looks off. You should take care of this. You should pay attention to it. So there's a big contrast, right? Whether there's a rule set and a system that is learning from everything and is telling you like, hey, you should pay attention to this if you want to do if you want to take a better decision financially for your account.
Yeah. Okay, so basically NetSuite will kind of use both. The rules are gonna like drive and govern all the actions, and then AI will highlight basically what us humans should be paying attention to.
Girl, you're nailing it. Yes, of course. And that's the big difference, right? Between AI tailor for ERP
Sure.
versus just general purpose AI. Because, for example, general purpose, I mean, you can go to ChatGPT, you can go to Cloud or any other LLMs. They
Yeah.
have a lot of knowledge, right? They are creative. I've seen very good videos. My gosh. They're flexible, but when you ask specific questions on NetSuite, for example, because they don't have this built-in understanding on ERP controls, they will give you like broad knowledge, right? They don't have a specific context. Um, there is high risk if you use it directly for finance, right? I mean, there's going to be things that maybe it's not going to suggest you the right decision.
Yeah.
Whereas just doing it with artificial intelligence that is tailored for NetSuite, well, it will give you the scope to specific transactions, records, fields. Um, it will operate within role-based permissions, right? Very similar to what NetSuite is been doing as of now with the MCP server,
Mm-hmm.
which basically kind of works that way. I mean, it cannot read things that it doesn't have permissions for, right? Very, very similar. And so this kind of platform and these capabilities, when merged into a single platform as NetSuite, they will respect audit controls, compliance boundaries. It will use business context and not just internet context at all. So I'll say general AI, it's great at conversation and creative things like making videos, pictures, etc. But artificial intelligence for NetSuite, it's going to be great at restraining people. It's like it's going to shine on reducing manual writing, improving consistency, saving time on a lot of repetitive tasks,
Sure.
but it won't do financial judgments for you. I mean, it won't take autonomous action for you. That won't happen as of now.
Gotcha, gotcha. So, but AI is not just for the users, right? I mean, I've had conversations with the dev team and they're using it even like for sweet script and things like that, coding, all that fancy stuff. And I think actually, do you know if Oracle is actually using AI to optimize their own platform? Like, is it something happening within that?
I don't know if I should say this. Oh, yes, I do. It's publicly available. Yes, Oracle is actually using AI internally, and they're using it for several things. Like, for example, tune query execution. They're also using it to balance system loads, to optimize their cloud infrastructure, and even, for example, to improve performance consistency at a great scale. These kind of impacts on the script execution environment. Now,
Mm.
Oracle is not using AI to rewrite or refactor a customer suite script, meaning if a developer or someone with a lot of knowledge on suite script, they do something like they script something, Oracle is not going to rewrite it. It's not using it for that purpose. It's just using it for making the database access better, to have more stability within the platform. And so that's basically what Oracle is using AI as of now for.
Okay, so basically, AI isn't changing your code, actually, it's just improving the environment where the code runs in, right?
Exactly. Yep. Yep. Pretty much. I mean, Oracle is using AI behind the scenes, and it's optimizing how NetSuite runs. It's also optimizing, for example, the environment of SuiteScript.
Hmm.
Where does this execute in? But it's not going to rewrite your code. It's just making the platform smarter at a scale, let's say.
Okay. Okay, that's really interesting.
It is. It is. And even, for example, with all of this stuff that NetSuite is investing on, and Oracle, because they have big data centers, they are investing big money on all of these of artificial intelligence. But one thing for sure is that as of now, December 2025, Gen AI in NetSuite is not ready for prime time. That's for sure.
So, like, what do you mean? I've heard so many things about AI, NetSuite, like, certifications, things like that. So, what do you mean? So, is it ready or not ready?
So, not exactly. And yes, there's a lot of hype. There are several certifications, which is great because Oracle NetSuite is preparing not only their users, but consultant companies on how to tackle what's coming and what do we need to do. But Gen AI is in NetSuite is ready for, let's say, for assistance, not for authority. For example, MCP server as of now, you can connect it to Cloud or ChatGPT. Great. It can retrieve data. It'll suggest data based on the context the LLM has. Like, for example, we were talking about this. LLMs as ChatGPT and Claude, they have a context very, very broad, right? All over
Sure.
the world, internet based, etc. They have been trained with trillions of data. However, it's not going to take decisions for you. It's not going to do it. Can it create transactions? Yes, if and only if you create the right prompt for the LLM to actually do those transactions back to NetSuite. Like, you can tell it, hey, I need to create a customer with these details. Perfect. It'll do it for you. But you shouldn't expect current MCP server and the connectivity with Cloud or ChatGPT to say,
Sure.
hey, I think I need a new customer, and then just create it for you because it kind of read your mind and your phone. No, it doesn't work like that. Not as
Uh,
of now.
like, if you had to bet on one of the biggest AI breakthrough within NetSuite, like, what do you think it will be? Like, in the next 2 to 3 years, let's say.
Oof. Oof. That's a very good question. I'll say AI driven cross module exception intelligence. Kind of sounds fancy, right?
It does.
That that connects operational signals to financial impact, and like in near real time, not just a chatbot. Like, no autonomous ERP, but kind of decision compression. And going back to this, like, for example, I'll say that in the next 2 to 3 years, AI in NetSuite will reduce the number of decisions humans have to analyze, but not the number of decisions they are responsible for. And that's a very, very good statement because, for example, if I ask you, Carolina, would you trust an intern to do something unsupervised? What would you say?
No,
So then, should you trust AI to do it either unsupervised?
no, for sure not.
Of course not. And that's one of the things that people doesn't get sometimes. AI is here. Yes, it's gonna help us tremendously, but it's not taking the responsibility away. Uh, I'll
Sure,
say that it has to be that rule of thumb. We should wait on auto generating workflows, auto writing suits, create financial approvals, right? All of that. Over the time, it'll become like very powerful decision support tool.
yeah,
Uh, but for sure, humans will stay firmly on the driver's seat taking those decisions. Someone needs to be responsible and take those decisions because otherwise, it's going to happen the same thing as with bad data. Have bad data, bad output. If you
sure.
just let AI to do whatever it wants, it's not going to work like that.
Yeah, AI won't be making the decisions. It will be it making a decision obvious for everybody else, right? So like the
Yeah.
companies will benefit most from AI, just thinking about decision making, you know, being a little bit more efficient, and the ones that are going to actually have more impact into their companies with these is going to be the ones with clean data and disciplined processes, of course.
Yes.
The
Yes.
only way
True.
to do it, I think.
Exactly. And so I'll say if someone is pitching AI in NetSuite right now as a hands off, that is overselling. That's not going to happen as of now, not in the near future, because you don't want that. You want humans to actually take control of the decision making, right? But you want
Yeah,
something, you want AI to actually drive with you and tell you, don't take that road. It's going to be bad. Like when you put the maps on to drive to a near place and it'll tell you, hey, traffic is bad, take another road. You want that, but you're still going to be on the driver's seat taking those decisions. So, and that's part of kind of like the misconceptions a lot of people has, right? They
yes.
think that uh, they will be able to just hands off to AI, do whatever you want, and that's it. And I don't think so.
Yeah. Well, there you have it, guys. AI in NetSuite is way more than just a marketing term. There's real technology going on here, even if it's really in early stages. You know, there's so many capabilities that we're going to be able to see what they can do in the future.
That's true. And if you're curious about any of these features, or you want to have a honest conversation, a real talk through artificial intelligence, how it might fit into your current NetSuite strategy, we've been doing that with customers and non-customers as well. Well, just hit us up at Bring a Tea. We're always down to kind of geek out about this stuff. We have Carolina. She'll be glad to do that.
Sure. Yeah. And if you enjoyed this conversation, just share it with your team, drop us a comment with your thoughts on AI, ERP, and subscribe to the 360 room so you don't have to, you never miss what we're talking about next.
Yes, like and subscribe. Can I
Yeah.
can I leave my TikTok? No, I'm just kidding. No, thank you everyone for listening. And this was 360 Room.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.